The Play Absolutely podcast with Dr. Sue Jennings and Dr. Andy Hickson.
Welcome to another edition of the Play Absolutely podcast. Hi, Sue. How you doing?
Hi, Andy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Have you had time to play this week?
I've had lots of time to play, yes. I've been playing with paint. I've been playing with wood. I've been playing with... I used to say before moving to Wales that I would never have any sort of artificial lawn or grass in my home. Well, we bought a house that already had artificial grass on on no lawn. So first thing I did was rolled it up and revealed a not very nice piece of land. But anyway, cut a long story short, I built a small shed on that piece of land, and I've got all this artificial grass. I don't know what to do with it. So I tried to give it away, but it's just too heavy. The cost of removing it was prohibitive. So what I've done is I've cut it up and used it to go around the shed. So I've been playing with artificial grass, something I said I would never do. So that term, never say never.
Mm. Well, I've been playing with sand.
Sand?
Because people were coming on courses on sand and stories. Oh. And I always think that whenever you play with sand, sooner or later there's a story about it. Mm. So I've had a lot of fun. You just have to be careful not to get sand into your computer.
I have a lot of stories about sand. I've played with sand in the Sahara Desert, in the Gobi Desert, on many beaches, on secluded beaches, British beaches, Welsh beaches, on secluded islands, under the sea. I mean, I played with all kinds of sand. I've had sand that have got caught in my hair when I was younger and actually cut away at the hair, and I lost a lot of hair due to sand. I've been in one of my visits to the Sahara Desert, got stuck in a sandstorm. That was really scary.
And talking of Sahara,
yeah,
I will just nudge you that you were going to take me on a camel ride. Once upon a time.
Yeah. Well, you saying that, but I don't know if you've forgotten, but when I was a child, you took us to Tunisia, I believe, Tunisia, and we went on camel rides there.
Yes, we did.
Now, I know that me and my fellow siblings were on the camel, but did you get on a camel as well? I can't remember.
Yes.
Well, there you go. You've had your Sahara camel ride. that would have been a bit of the Sahara Desert. Hey. Okay, but you want one as an adult. Okay, next time I'm in I don't know, Morocco or Algeria or Tunisia.
Yes, next time you happen to be going to the desert, take me with you.
You know, I say Tunisia, but I'm actually not sure if the Sahara visits Tunisia. It might have just been the beach, one of the beaches in Tunisia. I don't know, because I know predominantly, I mean, Algeria obviously has the largest Sahara, Morocco, but then you've also got a country called Western Sahara, and I think it goes in a little bit south. Yeah, so that's something worth finding out. But that's still on the cards. Yep, you want a camel ride. If you think you can manage a camel ride, happy to take you. How about as your next birthday present? Something to think about.
Yes, we'd have to decide which one. Of course, I would always swap it for a trip to Mongolia if you wanted.
Love Mongolia. I must just say something before we move away from sand, because I have played with a lot of sand. One of my favorites, and of course you want different formulations of sand for different things. To mold, if you want to mold sand, you want it a little bit wet, sand castles and so on. But actually, I remember one of my times again in the Sahara Desert. Careful about moving your mic. One of my times in the Sahara Desert, the sand there is really, really fine. And that game you can play where you kind of grab a handful of sand and then you slowly let the sand trickle maybe onto your hand or onto a pile. And it just feels so lovely. And this sand was so fine. It felt like silk was sort of traveling down in between my fingers. Everything was, it was lovely. I loved that
that's
sand.
why, of course, the fine sand was so popular for hourglasses.
Oh, of course.
If you think about it, sand was our first clock for centuries, I think, before people learnt other ways of measuring time.
Okay. Wow.
And it's interesting, it's called an hourglass, but very few of them actually last an hour. They tend to last minutes.
Okay, so if they made these before clocks, how did they know when an hour was up with the sand? How did they measure that?
I think it was all guesswork. I think it was linked to time on board ship and how many knots you could travel. And that's right. I think there was something about measuring time dependent on how many knots you could travel in your boat.
Okay.
I'll find out more about it for another time.
Well, as a sailing person, what should I say? As not a sailing person, it's not something that I've particularly enjoyed. But I do know you need some really important pieces of equipment for sailing. One is a sextant, I believe. And I think you need to know your distance, and you also need to know your direction. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea how you do that. I have heard the word sextant, so that's got something to do with it. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
any news?
Any news? So we did suggest to our viewers that we would be giving them news of our summer school. All we know is it's towards the end of August. It will be held in Wales, and we should have a flyer out this week, in which case means we can give full details in the next podcast. But
you've got the dates anyway, haven't you?
We do have the dates, yeah, but we are keeping them on the until we actually release it.
Okay, but PS to that, everybody. If you get my newsletter, the dates are in it.
Well, there you go. Well, that's a good reason to subscribe to the newsletter or to Sue's Substack, because you get some information early. Yeah, before everybody else. Before we've even produced the flyers. Yeah. Whoop. There's me falling off my seat. Oh. Camera that moves all the time does get a little bit annoying. Sometimes, but yeah. So, wow, where are we? We've got no plans actually for today's podcast. You've been a little bit sick, so we've done no preparatory work for it. Have you? We always say to our viewers, don't forget to play. Have you played this week?
Well, indeed, and I wanted to share with you, because I haven't told you this yet.
Right.
And our viewers.
Hold on. Is it in the newsletter?
Sorry?
Is it in the newsletter?
Yes, it is in the newsletter.
So if I'd have subscribed to the newsletter,
you'd know
I
this
could
anyway.
have got this. I lost out. All right. Come on then. Tell me.
Well, I've been very concerned over the weeks about people, students, inquirers, lots of people saying, Well, I don't have time to play. You know,
Hmm.
life's too busy, life's too serious. I have to hold down 2 jobs or whatever. And it's all very well us saying, don't forget to play.
Yeah.
But I decided to create a resource that was very accessible, that was very economical for people to learn to play again.
Right.
So next week I'm launching something called Daisy Play, which has a big
Daisy play.
daisy as a logo.
Right.
And thinking of how as children in the fields we go and make daisy chains, for example.
Hmm.
And a daisy is often the first flower a child will draw. They can just about manage that.
Okay.
So in Daisy Play, there's going to be a series of recorded modules, no assessment, no
Mm-hmm.
judgments around at all, no time pressure, do it in your own time whenever you want. But in each module, there'll be a different aspect of playfulness to encourage people to do.
Wow.
So Daisy Play will be available to everybody from next week.
Mm. Wow.
So
That's
I'm very
great.
chuffed at that.
Right. So you're going to provide details next week. Is that right?
Yes, and there'll be the first module recorded ready to sign into.
Okay. So do people have to pay for this? Is it free? Is it a small charge?
There's a small charge for each of the modules.
Okay. And
And also each month there'll be a live meeting time if people want to tune in and ask any questions about anything, and that'll be free.
that would be, and will that be just for people that have paid for something, or will anybody be able to access that bit for free?
Well, if people are interested in play, then they can tune in.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it's any play enthusiasts.
Right. Make sure you have the details for our next podcast, because we'll promote that, and maybe I don't know, create a QR code or something like that that people can scan and go direct to the free meeting.
Good,
Wow.
good.
Just I want to pick up actually, because something you said last week when we were talking about play.
Mm-hmm.
Naughty, you've adjusted your mic again. Your levels are actually going a bit up and down today. So you're creating a nightmare for the editor. Not that they edit things, but in terms of keeping volume levels consistent and everything, it's difficult. Yeah, something you said last week. Let's see if I can remember it right. We were talking about play that we'd done, and you said something like something along the lines as, you know, I really had difficulty playing. I really had to force myself to do some playful activity or something along those lines. And with it just didn't kind of ring true. Forcing yourself to play, that kind of, it doesn't seem to be a match. So I just wondered if you'd like to talk through what forcing yourself to play, and why would you have to force yourself to play? You know, if you can't play, then for whatever reason, then wait until you can. I mean, or is it just did I mix something up there?
The idea of being forced to play, in my mind, is very much associated with secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
And the attitude of gym teachers of
Right.
making you join in everything.
Hmm.
Now, I found, because I'd never done them before, because I'd only had a short time in primary school, I didn't go to school till I was 8 years old.
Right.
So I'd had no pre-preparation of a lesson called gymnastics.
Hmm.
And I found it really scary, but I also
Hmm.
found it quite painful.
Hmm.
Some girls could just shin up a rope and down again with ease. I couldn't. Even, my wrists weren't strong enough to take my weight.
Right.
And I was sure there was a knack to this, but I didn't quite understand what it was. So this idea that one failed miserably at trying to play gymnastics, which really should be a playful activity,
Hmm.
whether it's vaulting over a horse or same as playing leapfrog in the playground, really, or climbing up bars and so on. But it was something I always had to have a big sigh beforehand and grit my teeth and get on with it.
Can I just cut in there? I mean, do you think that's more to do rather than with playing with sport? I mean, you weren't so keen on sporting games.
Well, that's another story, because
Right.
that's where my parents got involved and said that some sports weren't suitable for girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly girls who went to ballet classes. So,
But did you like was there any sport that you liked, that you enjoyed?
I certainly liked tennis, but because I lived a long way from the school, I never had enough time to really practice.
Right.
Tennis I would have liked to have pursued later.
But sorry, getting back to my original question, because you kind of dodged it quite cleverly, in that you said, so it's nothing to do with sports or anything, but you said that you had to really push yourself to find time to play, which doesn't quite sound right with what we talk about in terms of pushing yourself, like forcing
well, I was
yourself.
including sport in play, but
Right.
also thinking about, at one time, having a life that was so full of earning a living.
Yeah, wait, don't
there was no time to play.
You're dodging again. I meant, you said last week, right, when we said, what have you done in the previous? So we're talking about 2 weeks ago, right? In that week, you had to push yourself, force yourself to play. Right? Not when you're a child.
Sorry, I was thinking back in history.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get Professor of Play to talk about.
Last week. Yeah. I had to keep reminding myself. That's
the word. Reminding yourself to play.
I had to keep reminding myself to play because I wasn't feeling that good. But also, so many deadlines came crowding in.
Yeah.
Finishing a chapter, finishing an article, marking.
Okay, so all right. Stop there, Sue. Stop there, Sue. Right. So, lots of people get in that position, right, where and you started off by saying, like, the daisy play partly is about helping people that don't have time or forgotten how to play.
So starting off by helping myself.
Yeah. So what was that the sort of the impetus to sort of reflect on yourself and how difficult it was for you being involved in play so much, and even you were having issues that you developed the daisy play idea? Indeed. Wow. So from self-reflection, okay, that's great.
I mean, we learn so much by suddenly stopping short with ourselves and thinking, hang on, why aren't I doing that?
Yeah. And
why haven't
also,
I done a breathing exercise? Why haven't I meditated?
Yeah. Yeah. And being honest with ourselves, because we spend so much time really not being that honest with ourselves that we don't actually achieve these breakthroughs like what you've just done in terms of being honest with yourself. Okay, yeah, that happened to me, can happen to anybody. Let's see what I can do. Develop. Great. Okay. Well, on that point, let's go to our regular feature, which is this week's Play in the News. And first, we go to Glasgow after a play park closed. Residents complained children have nowhere left safe to play. Now, the Scottish Sun newspaper reported that Broomfield Park near Springburn and Barmulloch, hope I pronounced that right, has been closed for safety reasons after residents complained about broken swings, damaged climbing equipment, and poor maintenance. Local campaigners argued that children in the area were being denied outdoor play opportunities, especially compared with wealthier neighbourhoods. The council says a major refurbishment is now planned using play renewal funding and developer contributions. Now, this is not just a broken park story. It's about, in my mind, play inequality. Some children inherit maintained attractive play spaces, and others inherit locked gates and damaged equipment. So for me, that's an example of social inequality and a social justice issue. A playground is not neutral if its condition tells children that they matter less, or when the swings are broken and the gates are locked. Childhood is not being protected equally. So, I mean, you get questions like, who notices first when a poor area playground falls apart? Is it the children, the parents, or politicians? And should councils publish play space inequality audits? Yeah. Next, we go abroad. Oh,
before we go abroad, Andy, could I just say,
please.
A few years ago, a comparable incident happened here in Wells, when somebody or a group of people burnt down the playground.
Oh, my days.
They said, and it was newly furbished, and it was promptly burnt. All the equipment was destroyed.
Wow.
So it was doubly dangerous because of jagged bits and pieces were left. So it had to be fenced off and funding found to actually rebuild it. But that took time.
Wow.
But that was such an appalling destruction because they found it was a deliberate fire.
Right.
To burn down the playground.
Terrible.
It was really a very, very tragic situation.
Okay, so let's go abroad. And UNICEF has published a current child labour briefing ahead of the June playwrights period, noting that an estimated 138 million children were engaged in child labour in 2024. So it was only 18 months ago, including many in hazardous work. The briefing links child labour directly to the loss of childhood, schooling and play, with sub-Saharan Africa carrying the heaviest burden at around 87 million children in child labour. This is the absence of play. It reminds us that play in the news should not only mean playgrounds and activities, but sometimes the story is that play has been stolen by work, poverty, debt, migration, conflict, or survival. Play is not only a developmental good, it is a sign that a child has time, safety, and some protection from exploitation. We should state that in sub-Saharan Africa, children have always helped. It's part of the culture. But there is a world of difference between learning by helping family and being pulled into labour because of taxes, poverty, plantations, mines, conflict, or global markets who have stolen your childhood. A child who has no time to play may be showing us that something much bigger has failed. What does a right to play mean in places where children are working to keep families alive? That's the question. And that's this week's Play in the News. What do you think of, that second story, Sue?
Well, it got me to thinking also about the lost childhoods with recruited child soldiers.
Yes.
And it seems that whenever globally we try to push for the rights of the child, there are always these horrifying statistics that jump up that children are still exploited in one way or another.
And isn't it strange how, we hear of these stories of the child labour, millions and millions of child labour in parts of Africa, sub-Saharan particularly, and the sort of the blame goes on to those cultures. Look what they're doing to their children, but actually it's because Western countries, the US, Europe, the UK, are are almost pushing those countries to generate the resources that we steal at rock bottom prices to keep everything going. So, really, we
Is there any
are.
way a new approach could be through insisting that there's labelling?
It's all about the money. Yeah, they don't want to lose their money. Even a few bucks here and there, they will keep on getting their money. So
I mean,
I don't believe
most
so.
people now are aware about products being produced in eco-friendly circumstances, for example, and not having this additive or that additive. Surely we could widen this definition of ethically produced, that it's not produced with child labour.
Okay, you say everybody knows. Let's take a. Actually, no, I don't want any litigation, so I'm not going to start mentioning these particular things. Okay, yeah. Fair
Could I
play.
just add something else to this?
Yeah.
Because then people will get into this debate about, oh, so you mean my child can't help with a paper round? As if a child, usually a young teenager, finding a way to earn some extra money for pocket money, can be compared with the idea of the big firms exploiting child labour in countries, with children working extortionate hours for very little remuneration.
And you've got to look at those two sides. You've got this kid from the UK doing a paper round to earn a bit of extra pocket money, so they can buy a comic and some sweets, maybe, versus the child in I don't know, in Zambia, who is going out working in a mine to earn a few pennies to bring a bit of bread and maybe a bit of rice to the family food table. There's a big difference. Yeah.
So the situation where play has become work.
Play has become work. Ooh, ouch. Yeah. Well, it work is, if it's work, it's no longer play, or is it? What about the people? Right? It's moving it in another direction, another tangent. What about the people that have the most amazing jobs, where they're playing all the time and it's part of their work? Oh, is that the dream job?
Gosh.
There's a film. Do you remember the Elf, I think it was called, where this guy works in a department store in the toy department before Christmas, and he gets to test out all of the toys beforehand, and he has great fun playing with all of the toys. And if you love that kind of thing, that's maybe the definition of what work should be, is that you do something and hopefully it'll be productive in some way. It's going to help your community or your family or wider society, but you're doing something you love, doing something you enjoy, rather than dreading getting up in the morning. Isn't that the ideal? There must be ways that we could all enjoy our work if we weren't forced to do things or work, in inverted commas, in areas that we don't want
to do things.
Obligated, that's the word. Yeah. But you know what they say? People will say, oh, well, nobody will want to clean the bins, nobody will want to do the washing up, nobody will do the cleaning. All these messy jobs will just get left. Wow.
So which was that Disney film where the theme song was Whistle While You Work?
Oh, isn't that the gnome people? Not Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, is it? Hi ho, it's off to work we go. Is that the one?
That's right, Snow White.
Yeah. Okay.
But the whole idea that you whistle while you work.
Yeah, well, then sort of when the old films about slavery and so on, or like the chain gangs, isn't it? Or in the army even, when they're marching, they're singing their marching songs and so on, isn't it? It's kind
And
of
of course, that delightful film where Danny DeVito had been sent to the army as a teacher, as a punishment,
okay.
and he got all the soldiers marching to Shakespeare,
Oh, really? I missed
which was
that one.
absolutely hilarious. It was a lovely, lovely film, one of my favourites.
Okay.
And of
Wow.
course, a film that you could say was also very playful to us, the viewer, was the Shawshank Redemption.
A fantastic film. Yeah, iconic.
Oh yes, it really is
Mm.
was amazing. It could be watched over and over again,
Mm.
and it was artful and clever and all these things at the same time. But what was lovely was the director drew us into the game,
Mm.
so we could actually follow this playfulness,
Yeah.
and yet it was absolutely convincing to the authorities. Very playful.
Yes. Yeah. So we should be having another guest soon. It was going to be for this particular episode, but they're unable to make it. So it should be either the next one or one after. Surprise guest. That will be something worth looking forward to. Are there any stories before we bring this episode to a close that you would like to raise? I mean, we sort of touched upon the sort of children losing out on play. In a previous pod, we looked at play where it's misused can actually damage people. Is there, and at the end of our podcast, of course, we will always talk about how play can maybe help people that are feeling down and so on. What are other aspects of play? So we got the damage, yeah, we got the doing good, and we've got the abuse or misuse.
I think the most
How else can you
important
use
thing,
it? Yeah,
what is really important, is we don't try to control play, that we follow the child. So often people say, oh yes, right, I'll organise some play for my child after school. And that's not what any of us are saying. We're not about organising something for children. We're talking about allowing them to play.
But what's wrong with organising things? I mean, there's a couple of sort of after-school clubs that my children attend. While playing football at one, doing singing on another, which is like an after-school kind of
Yes,
play
that's
club.
rather different. That's involved in a playful activity that needs rules and games and limits and organisation. But
So
I'm just talking about child spontaneously discovering their own play and finding out things by playing and not having too much ready-made toys to impose on them, so that they can have art materials, old boxes, stuff that's
But
been
what about the
discarded.
people that, sorry to interrupt, that would argue, well, you're depriving children. You're not giving them play equipment. You're not sort of showing them how to play. You're not organising them. You're just leaving them to their own devices. Isn't that depriving a child?
I don't think we deprive children at all, because they already have enough given to them in all sorts of contexts, both at school, after school clubs and things like that. But allowing a child to play with minimal but discarded recycling resources, you're actually building the child's independence, you're building their curiosity, you're building their scientific thinking.
All right. Okay. Right, hold on. Headline, right? Imagine this headline. Okay. Professor of play suggests or tells us we must only let our children play in cardboard boxes. No other play equipment allowed. Too much control. Cardboard boxes is all they can have. You imagine what people would be saying about you if that was introduced.
Well, then people would just have to pause and look at what that statement actually meant. Because not only was it good for the environment, it was doubly good for the child.
Professor of Play does not disagree with only giving cardboard boxes. It's eco-friendly play.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, the media, though, they twist so many things. You could do lovely things for good. And if the media, the establishment, or certain interest groups don't like it, they will find a way to spread bad news, fake news about you, twist it in upside down, inside out, so that, yeah, that's the world we live in.
Cardboard boxes are dangerous.
Is it World Book Day or Word Character Book Day or something quite soon? One of my kids was saying, "What character would you go as in World Book Day, Dad?" I thought for a minute, and I said, "I'd go as the Boxman." The Boxman? What kind of character is that? And I said, well, yeah, there is an author. He's a Japanese author, and he's written a book called The Boxman. And it is literally about a guy who lives inside a box with like no, not eyes cut out, but a little slit cut out so that he can see the world. And he lives in his cardboard box. And we go on the journey throughout the book where people try to steal the box, and so on. You keep looking up at somebody. Have you got somebody watching you record?
Oh, sorry.
Have you? Have you got an audience?
No. I've just got two screens, which are a bit distracting.
You're looking at the other screen, right? Okay. Yes. Okay. Right. I think unless you've got anything else you want to say, we can draw this
I'm done for
podcast to
today.
a close. Done for today. Okay. So, let's end it how we always end it. If you're feeling the blues, you're feeling a bit anxious, we're going to suggest an activity that you might try out to help you feel a little bit better, or to sort of let go of some of that anxiety. What have you got for our viewers this week, Sue?
Well, I hope I haven't done this one before. I can't remember, but you'll tell me. But a lovely exercise, especially for tension and feeling irritated and not being in a place where you can shout, is the Scribble Monster.
You've done something similar, but I think you've titled it the Scribble Monster. Right.
So we all know that most children, if they scribble round and round and round in a circle. So have your piece of paper and any colour crayon you want. And first of all, scribble round and round and round as cross as you like.
Okay.
So that's your scribble. Then all you have to do is to add legs or arms and a head and turn your scribble into a scribble monster.
And the two things you've missed there are the eyes.
Oh, that was the next step.
Two dots in the middle. Oh, right.
I haven't finished yet.
Okay.
Once you've got the arms, and whether it's arms or four legs, whatever you choose, and you've got the head, then you draw the face. And all you need are two circles for eyes and a mouth that turns up or down, or a mouth that's open with teeth in it, up to you. But that's your scribble monster. And you can end the exercise by giving it a name.
Wow. What did you name your last scribble monster?
Mine? Strangely enough, It was called Robert.
I'm sure you're going to say Fred, but you said Robert. I saw the forming, and then we all know that you just made up Robert. You can't remember what you named your last. You were going to say Fred though.
No, I was going to say flip chart, and I thought that would make no sense to anybody else but me.
But I was right with the S though. Okay.
Oh, you were right with it.
Okay. Well, I was going to say something else, but I quite like to link, or albeit just a little link to yours. My activity, I actually learned this from one of the times I've worked with may he rest in peace, the famous and wonderful Mr. Augusto Boal, Brazilian theatre director. And this is, again, you get a piece of paper, pencil, and you either close your eyes or you wear a blindfold, and you try and draw a self-portrait without looking at the paper. Finish it. You are not allowed to look, because if you adjust, for 1 second, it doesn't count. So you've got to really focus, put in as much detail as you can. So do that process. If you could spend sort of 2-3 minutes drawing your face, and then open your eyes and see what you've produced, the very worst that's going to happen is you're going to have a good laugh. Right. And there is a couple of little things that often happen. And I don't want to say what they are, because that will affect what people do if they do try it. But if I'm reminded by a comment, if somebody's tried this out and they've told us about what happened in their picture, what it looked like, or even, scan it, send us through a copy, we could show them on screen.
Oh, that'd be great, yes.
And there is a couple of things that happen on that exercise, which, could be surprising. Say no more, because I'll spoil it. Okay, so that's the end of this week's pod. If you've liked the episode, please give us a like. Subscribe to the channel. That really helps. We do this for free. We're not getting paid. So if you can help us push the algorithm, that would really help. So subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next week. And I'm going to leave you with don't forget to play.
No, don't forget to play.
Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.